Lonk, roadkill. So indistinguishable, a vulture stuck around in between an episode to try and get a piece. Hello and welcome to the Desert Palace of A Link to the Past. So if you thought the first level was a little too linear, oh, we just got shot. If you thought the first level was a little bit too linear for you, well, this is gonna change a whole lot. So this level, you have a lot of opportunities into which direction you want to go from the get-go. We're in a huge room. We can go up, we can go left, we can go right. So many directions are available to you today. But no, really. In the first dungeon, there was a point where you had an option of going left or right. Right took you to the map, and left kind of just moved you on through the level, which was kind of your only, option, like, where to go. Because the level kind of railroads you into where you want to go. Like, it's... I don't want to say it's linear, but it's like being linear without being over-the-top hallway action, if that makes any sense. This level from the get-go, and that is not the map button. As you can see, we have a lot, like, basically every single one of these rooms is just available to you right from the get-go. You don't need the power to get to it. You're probably going to need a key, though. But yeah, there's just a lot of options for how you want to begin this dungeon in terms of how you want to begin this dungeon. That is a sentence. This is a telepathic tile. You talk to it in Sarahasa Sasa Supala. I really have no clue how to pronounce his name. I think it's Sarahasala, but I'm bad at pronunciation. He'll give you tips and hints. Tips and tricks, how to play video game, if you need any help. And I don't think we want to be in here just yet, but might as well check it out, just for the sake of making sure that we do actually not want to be in here. This guy right here, Beamos, you cannot kill him any way to my knowledge. There's probably some, like, way that you know if you're, like, a super pro, but I'm not a super pro and I don't know. Big chest can't do anything about that, so let's just skedaddle. In terms of dodging Beamos, you can't hide behind pots to get away from his beam, and as soon as he sees you, he will shoot you. He shoots exactly where you're standing, so as long as you keep moving, as long as you're not moving in the same way he shoots his beam, you will not get hit. As long as you're in the kind of sandy parts of this level, you're gonna have to deal with, levers and the bug guys. I don't know what the other bug guys are called. My bad. So, something Link to the Past does that I always thought was really neat is, like, multiple exits and entrances into the dungeon. Normally there's going to be one entrance, like a main entrance that you need to take to get into the level, but there'll be, like, other exits that you can, you know, like, come back in like we're just doing right now. And actually, I want to go back outside to show you guys something. I can only think of a few cases where there is a thing that a level that will have multiple entrances and any of them are accessible to you. Speaking of being accessible, those rocks are in our darn way. And we can't pick them up, because if we picked them up, our hands would get dirty, and that would just be a fucking travesty, man. You might be able to hide behind blocks from Beamo. Yeah, you can hide behind blocks. They won't see you. That's neat. If you come in here, there's fairies if you need them. I don't think we need them. I probably need one, and I'm probably gonna need to use it in a second, based on how I'm playing. And oh, that lever actually didn't manage to kill me. That's kind of neat. Going outside of the dungeon, I think, respawns what's in the pots, so if you need to stock up, you can always go to that room where that Beamos was with the big chest, to stock up on things and just run out of the dungeon real quick, if you're in need of hearts or whatever, but there's plenty of pickups around here. Okay, so the bug guys who come out of the, quicksand-looking sinkhole things. Blue ones, which are just kind of there to be annoying. Red ones will shoot fireballs at you. So be careful of the red ones. Like, as you can see, they shoot fireballs at you. One thing that Link to the Past does that I've always admired was not being afraid to use rooms in unique ways. In modern Zelda games, actually, basically every single Zelda game after Link to the Past, every room is kind of just chock full of, like, it's like, oh, okay, so this is a big puzzle, you move on to the next puzzle. That was just a room that sole purpose was for enemies to ambush you. You don't get a key out of it, you don't get anything out of it. Enemies just ambush you. There is no other purpose to that room that we were just in other than to get ambushed by enemies. Also, I think this is just another exit out of the level. This one is more so just for getting you the hell out of here. You can just hop back into the desert. Not that you couldn't hop down into the desert from where we were previously, but this one's only purpose is that. So, yeah, just different ways to get out of the level. Nothing special. And by nothing special, I mean I don't think any other Zelda game does it. There's probably a level that just contradicts that statement, but you know, whatever. And 999 rubies. We have them. We probably had them before, and I just now noticed because we picked up the 20 rupee, and I just wanted to check. So my bad if we've been carrying them around this entire episode, which I don't think we have been. Killing all the little bug. Well, they're not necessarily bugs, but they make me think they're bugs because they're all tentacly. They're more like tangulas more than anything. The ball pit room, as I call it. You just want to dash through it, and you'll be perfectly fine unless you get the timing wrong, which isn't really your fault, because it's more of a case of just running through at the right time to dodge the ball launcher things. And there we go, we have the big key, so we've actually kind of tackled, and I keep hitting the wrong button, we've tackled every single room on the basement floor of this level. You're going to notice some weird rooms, or some weird floor layouts. Floor layouts, that's probably not the right word, but you're going to come in on weird floors for some levels. Like this level, we're in the basement floor of it, as opposed to, like, you know, the ground floor like you would think you are. You're going to notice that some levels do that, where you start off on a weird floor. You'll normally notice it in the architecture, how you're going in, that it makes sense for it, but it's normally something I don't note until I look at the map and go, whoa man, I'm on a weird floor. Also, the power glove, we're now able to pick up rocks because we won't dirty our hands, because, come on, the power glove's not going to make you any stronger than you currently are. It's just going to be good for protecting your precious little hands. Also, you're going to look kind of like a dork wearing it, but, you know, it's a neat thing. Also, the power glove is the name of the upgrade we just picked up. It's not an item per se as much as it is an upgrade, so we won't be able to equip it. You just use the pick up button, and you are now able to pick up things you weren't able to previously pick up, like these rocks. Whoa, how strong we are. So you're going to be able to pick up any rocks of this light green color. They are darker, more like gray, well, gray-green, darker green rocks. You're not able to pick those up yet. You might need a better power glove to be able to do that. This room welcomes the introduction of flying tiles. Welcomes the introduction. That is a horrible sentence. I apologize. You don't have to wait them out for the door to open, because as you can see, it's a key door. So just check the pots and you'll find the key. I'm sure the key's probably in a set pot, but, you know, whatever. So flying tiles are a bit of a pain in this game, as opposed to the Game Boy Zelda games that we have previously played. Because if you've played the Game Boy Zelda games, you know that you can, like, equip your shield and just kind of hide behind it and just kind of chill while they attack you. Well, in this one, your shield only does the area that's right in front of it, like on your sprite. That's the area that it protects. So unless they bump into that very specific area, you're kind of screwed. And hopefully, yeah, you can hide behind statues. Don't rely on the lantern thingies for protection, because they will not protect you from BMOS. Not at all. Only walls, statues, blocks. There's probably some other things that'll protect you, so if you want to try and hide behind something, you just might want to be careful before just standing behind it, assuming you're safe. And hopefully we can pick this up before we get killed, because we're actually right next to the boss. You'll normally tell that you're kind of close to the boss when you see that kind of floor mat thing with the, it'll have like some kind of skull or whatever kind of design on it. One thing I advise doing before lighting up these lanterns with your lamp, or, well, not before, you do not want to pick up the pots on the ground. Before you light the lanterns, you don't want to pick up the pots. That doesn't sound correct at all. Yeah, so I would advise saving the pots for afterwards, because you'll be able to stock up on magic or whatever from lighting the lamps. You're able to heal, get your arrows back if you fought the Igor and have any trouble. Ice Rod, I didn't talk about it when we first got it, but it is going to be a good item to use against this boss, because I believe it does extra damage against him. Either that, or it just does more damage than the bow and arrow normally. I don't remember which one, but it's one of the two. So, Landmola, there are 3 buggy centipede guys flying around. If you're going to fight him with your ice rod or your bow and arrow, you want to hit him in the face with your magic / arrows. You can also hit him with your sword, of course, because, you know, if your consumables were all consumed, you'd be screwed. And we've done pretty well for ourselves just using the ice rod. You can kind of just whip his ass with the ice rod, so if you're having trouble with him, you might want to go grab the ice rod. You can also just shoot arrows into his face. If you're going to use your sword, though, you can hit both of his face and his little tail pincher thing. Using spin attacks might be a nice thing to use against the earlier forms, because when he comes out, you use it and it bounces off of him. But you're kind of playing a risky game for this later one, because when he gets down to the last one, he changes the rock shooting pattern when he comes up to rather shooting just diagonally to shooting in all 8 directions, which can kind of screw you over if you're not paying attention. And there goes that heart visual glitch again. We'll have that fixed soon. And here we go, the Pendant of Power. Yes, Pendant of Power, not Pendant of Wisdom. For some reason, they swapped the red-blue power wisdom color thing in later games. I guess it makes sense for red to be power, blue to be wisdom. At least it makes sense for me, because I think of red being a strong color, and then with red being strong color, it's like, okay, blue can be the smart color. Whatevs, yo. So there we go. Second dungeon all done. Second dungeon's not that big, but I guess, you know, we're in early Zelda games. Let's go ahead and pause the game to get rid of the extra heart, and let's get the hell out of here before these Geldmen kill us. And Vulture will leave us alone, right? And oh, look at that tablet. Maybe we'll be able to do something with it in the future. Maybe we will, but we probably won't, because that's video games, man. We will, don't worry. Get out of here, Crow. We don't want anything to do with you. So these big rocks, you can pick these up too. You can't move while picking up the big ones, but as long as they're of this light green teal color, I suppose, you're perfectly safe to picking up. These dark ones, you can't. That's the dark green rocks I was talking about. So now that we've beaten the second level, we can take care of that 500 rupee requirement that I kept babbling on about last episode. Let's get the hell out of here before we die. So we're gonna want to make our way over to near where Syrup the Witch is. So I'll meet you guys when we get over there. Okie dokie, so we're over here, and there's another one of those darn dark rocks, but if you want to get back there, you can just pick up the sign. Oh, we have seemed to have blown up. You can pick it up from the side if you just want to get by. Not that you really need to get back there for anything, just if you're, for whatever reason, in need of pickups. There's a bunch of grass there, and grass is always good for pickups. So now that we've been able to get past that big rock that would have blocked us off before, we can check out what's behind here. And you're going to want to come here after you get the 500 rupees. Also, these cluster of rocks, just run into them. You can't pick them up, or you might be able to pick them up with the later upgrade. I never try, because you can just run into them and get rid of them. And running into things is really convenient, seeing as you don't have to equip the Pegasus boots. I always like the Pegasus boots in this game for that. Just, you hold A, and you go. Or what I remember being A, at the very least. I'm not playing on a Super Nintendo controller. And yeah, the A button. Okay, cool. I was worried for a second that I remembered it wrong. And oh my god, Zoras. Welcome to the Zora's Domain. I don't know if it's exactly called the Zora's Domain in this game, but it's called the Zora's Domain in other games, so why the hell not? It's basically the Zora's Domain. So the Zoras are not our friends in this game. They are going to try and jump at you and run at you if they land in shallow water. If they're in deep water, they're just going to shoot fucking fireballs at you, because that's what Zoras do. You know, the Zora Fireball ability that they kept in later Zelda games. I don't know why they took away the Fireball ability. I guess Electric Shield is cooler, so I can forgive them for getting rid of the Fireball whenever you eventually became a Zora in Majora's Mask. Also, you don't have to worry if you keep running into and jumping into the water, because it takes no health off of your bar. So when you get to the end of the Zora's Domain, you're going to notice this big whirlpool with a big Zora. So this Zora won't attack you because he's a bit of a businessman. You bring him 500 rupees and he'll give you the ability to swim like a Zora. And by swim like a Zora, I just mean swim in general. We're carrying a sword, a shield. It's pretty hard to fucking swim, but wearing these webbed shoes will make it easier, and we're able to wear these webbed shoes at the same time as our Pegasus boots. I know, 2 shoes at once. Suck it, Ocarina of Time. So once you get the Zora flippers, you are now able to swim, which I guess is kind of obvious. Before you duck out from Zora's Domain, you want to come over here for a piece of heart. Not that it matters for us, but collectionist whore. Gotta do it. We now have a lot of stuff open to us before that we wouldn't be able to do, because now we can go for a dip. Also, you're gonna need the Zora flippers to beat the game. So it's just better to get it out of the way early so you don't forget about it later on. Especially since if you have 999 rupees, which you are likely to have at this moment in time, you know, you don't want to just keep collecting money and then for it to screw you over. If you talk to some townspeople in Kakariko Village, they'll tell you about a wishing well, where if you throw in an item, something good will happen. Well, this is that wishing well, you know, the one that we talked about. You can throw any item in you want, but the only items that will give you upgrades is throwing in your shield and your boomerang. When you do, a beautiful fairy will appear. A beautiful brunette green-wearing fairy who, in the Link to the Past 2 games, actually look a bit more like the butterfly fairies, which is kind of neat from what I was able to see in the trailer. And that went off going somewhere else really quickly. I'm sorry. Red shield. It's a bit bigger, has a bit more protection space, and it now blocks fireballs. Your previous shield wouldn't block fireballs if you didn't know. Which you probably didn't, because the shield barely protects you, so you probably didn't know what it would protect you from, because just sometimes it clinks and you're like, hey, it protected me. Also, you of course just want to tell her what you threw in. If you throw in a something that isn't your boomerang or your shield, she'll just be like, don't do it again. Red boomerang, or magical boomerang as it's actually called, throws faster and farther than our old boomerang. It doesn't have the magic controls like the one from Seasons, which is kind of a shame, but you know, whatever. Also, now that you're able to swim, if you manage to get yourself into a whirlpool, which seemed to be more difficult than it should have been, for me anyways, because I'm a big stupid, you can warp. They just act as little warps around the overworld. So now we were in the top right of the map. Now we're in the bottom right. The warps have predetermined spots that they take you, so don't just keep jumping in thinking you'll be going somewhere new. And it's a good thing we took that warp too, because we're at another weird cave with a wishing well. So, the reason you're going to want a lot of rupees is because you can come in here and throw your 20 rupees in, or 5 rupees if you want, and it will give you a fortune, and we have big trouble. That's not very good. Also, this place is really cool, because you can come over here and you'll see a crack in the wall, notch in the wall, whatever you want to call it. Right behind there is a fairy fountain with 4 fairies, which I'm going to have to restock one of my fairies, because I actually died on the way up to Syrup the Witch's house, as embarrassing as that is. Fucking arrow knights. Oh, and we went up from big trouble to a little luck, so that's a bit of an improvement. So this is kind of a sweet place you're going to be coming, because you want to throw all of your money into the wishing well, because it's a very good thing to do. And then there's 4 fairies over here, which will be enough to fill up all your bottles at any given time, because there's only 4 bottles in this game. So you want to keep throwing money in, like, just keep doing it. There is no reason not to. Just keep throwing your fucking money in there. You just keep getting fortunes and your luck keeps increasing. It's always a good thing to have better luck, and also it kind of sucks because the text box won't immediately reappear for when you come back, I guess just to give you time to walk away. So you have to keep kind of coming back to it. Like, if you stand here, actually. Oh, if you stand here, it actually will do it. I had never just stood there just because I'm impatient. So there we go. We've now thrown 100 rupees into there, and another beautiful fairy appears. So every time a fairy appears, you can, this fairy appears, she will give you more bombs or more arrows. They increase in sets of 5. Max amount of bombs being 50, max amount of arrows being 70. Once you get the first upgrade, how much money you'll increase from 5 and 20 rupees to 25 and 50, which makes it easier to get the upgrades, because she will appear every time you throw in 100 rupees. She'll appear again and give you more arrows or bombs, whatever. Well, not more arrows or bombs. You can't choose both, because then that'd be freaking cheating. So this is why you're gonna want a lot of money, because you're gonna be throwing hundreds upon hundreds of rupees into this pond if you want to get the max bomb and arrow carrying amounts. So I'm gonna go ahead and dunk all of the money I currently have into here, because it'll just take a little bit of time. Boy, oh boy, I feel like I'm carrying way more shit than I was previously. So whenever you have completely filled up your upgrades, if you keep throwing money into that pond, every time you hit 100, she'll refund your money and tell you that she can't do any more for you, and give you a hint that there is a wishing well up by the Zora's domain where it's where you get the red shield and the red boomerang. Although that hint always makes me think that there is further bomb and arrow upgrades, which is funny because I normally play this game every couple of years, so I see it and I'm like, oh well, 50 and 70, 50 bombs and 70 arrows. That's a bit of a weird number. 70 arrows being 50 is a decent enough number. So it always makes me think that there's another wishing well where you can go like upgrade your bombs and arrows more, but it's just a hint telling you about the wishing well that we had already gone to. So you can see how easy it is to get across the world now that we can swim. We can just be kind of like, I don't want to go there, and then just like, just hop into a new area. And let's run, because there's no reason to walk anywhere. Especially since when you run, you hold your sword out and you'll damage anything that you run into. I have a good feeling that I never mentioned that. Dashing's a pretty cool thing. I don't think it does any extra damage. But it is a nice way to get the jump on enemies. Just charge right into them while they are not expecting it. Also, if you come back to the sanctuary, because this is just to the left of the sanctuary where we left Zelda, where I'm sure she's perfectly fine. I mean, sanctuary guy won't do anything bad. Like, he's not a bad guy. Pfft, that'd be ridiculous. He's actually not a bad guy. That was a fake spoiler. I just threw it in there to throw you off, man. Get you off your feet. He's not actually a bad guy. I'm going off of where we should. So, ignoring that, we piece of heart. You just can duck in there for like a free piece of heart, because seriously, you're gonna have the Pegasus boots. There's no reason to pick it up. And I want to come up here to see if the lumberjacks are. Yeah, lumberjacks are still at work. Eventually, the lumberjacks will finish, and you can come check out what they've been doing this entire time. I'm pretty sure they won't be finished until a set time, but just had to check. And oh, look, a Paris, and I think he dropped a bit of money. I know that this isn't actually a Paris. I'm not that stupid. I'm pretty stupid, but not that stupid. Oh, and oh man, I just remembered there was something I totally forgot to get. Oh man, that is a shame. I think there's a quick exit out of this cave we've just entered. If not, well, then I'll totally go get it later. And I just wanted to see if I could skip across that cave. And oh, nice! That's actually pretty good, because now we can just duck out. I'm gonna go grab that thing that I totally forgot about. I'm a big idiot. I'm so sorry. Okay, I cannot believe that it slipped my mind, but I completely forgot about a thing that I wanted to go get before we traveled onwards, because it'll make my life a bit easier. Also, I kind of like to get items as soon as we're able to. And we have just unlocked the ability to get this item. Right now, we're kind of on the top right part of Lake Hylia. So this is right where we got out of the fairy fountain to increase our bombs and arrows. I meant to go do this after we got the upgrades, but after throwing in all the money, I completely blanked on it. Because if you swim up the river, you'll see the bridge that we've crossed over a couple times, because if you go under it, there's actually an area underneath it. I did not know about this until the Game Boy Advance port of this game. Which is kind of weird, because you get something really important for talking to this guy, the third bottle! Hooray! And he's just gonna give it to you, because he thinks you're in trouble, and he just wants to be helpful. So yeah, this guy just lives underneath the bridge, living the dream. No rain hits him, unless it's like sideways rain, and then I feel so sorry for you. And he has a bottle, a fire, a tent. He's living the life. So I'll meet you back at the cave, which is where you're supposed to go to continue the game. And I'm so sorry for breaking up the flow of the game like that. I didn't mean to do that. Probably should have just went to go get that bottle later, but the bottle's gonna make my life a bit easier. So I'm really sorry. Round 2 of going into this cave, and I bet there's going to be another Paris underneath here. Yeah, I'm sorry, Paris. Don't have time for you today. Because now we're going to get a move on with where we are actually going. I'm so sorry about that, by the way. So you're going to want to go through this cave, and I'm not sure. Yeah, it's too late to check the map. But if you remember when I checked the map oh, there's an old man in here. And he just wants help getting out of here, so we'll go ahead and take him with us. If you remember the map previously, the third pendant is on top of Death Mountain. And yes, it is called Death Mountain in this game, I believe. Well, I guess Death Mountain was in Zelda 1, so it makes sense for it to be in this game too. And he's gonna go ahead and give you directions about where to go. He's an old man though, so don't take his advice too seriously, or else you're gonna run into a swarm of bats. And bats aren't the strongest enemy, of course, because they're frickin' bats. What do you mean? I guess he knew there was a heart in the bottle. That's a weird thing to know. Turn right here. Okay, I'll go this way. Ooh, and he's telling us about a granddaughter our age. Come on. Oh, she's just like a descendant of the wise men or something. I don't know if he's like complimenting himself, saying that he's a wise man or whatever, but you know, I don't think that was his intended purpose, but I'm on to you, guy. So here we go. We brought him back to his house, aka just this hole in the mountain. And he's gonna go ahead and give us a magical transporting mirror. It's blue, it's clear, it's beautiful. It's everything we've ever wanted in a mirror. Watch out for the rocks, they hurt. The rocks have like official enemy names, with the creative name of Rocks, of course. I don't know why, but I think they've had an enemy name since Zelda 1, so I guess they were just like, well, we gave him a name in Zelda 1, we might as well keep up the name. Also, if you go through the old man's house, it leads up to this cave up here just to kind of keep you safe from the rocks, because when you have as low as health as you will at the beginning of the game, the rocks can kind of kick your ass. This cave will, right here will take you back to Kakariko Village if you want to get off the mountain easily. But we don't want to get off the mountain easily because we are marching on forward. And I always like these glowy rock things on Death Mountain. I always thought they looked really neat. And oh look, there's a heart on top of that rock. That looks really cool. I want that piece of heart. But we are unable to get that piece of heart. And oh look, there's another piece of heart. But we're unable to... Actually, we might be able to get that piece of heart. Are we able to get that piece of heart? Oh, we'll drop down. We'll see if we're able to get it. Why the hell not? If there's a piece of heart, you gotta run towards it, even if you're really not sure if you can get the piece of heart. And I think that way just takes you back to Kakariko Village, because I remember a passage full of Moldrums that takes you back to Kakariko Village. And ooh, fairies! Thank you, fairies. Oh, maybe it doesn't, because that seems to be our only way we can actually progress, because we're blocked off from jumping down to that area down there. So I guess we'll just see where this takes us, and I'll hope that it doesn't take us back to Kakariko Village, because then we'll have to go up the mountain again, and that kind of sucks. And oh no, it just takes us to one of these little cliffside caves on Death Mountain. So I guess we'll need to, oh no, I remember, and sorry for the fight, just actually snapped, because I did just actually remember how we get that piece of heart in that cave. There's that cliffside cave thing, but I think one of these other ones will take you into the cave and will bring you through where you get the piece of heart. Yeah, because this is totally going to take us up to the staircase that will put us on the other side of that rock where you can get the piece of heart. And then Sarah Hossela has something to say to us on the telepathic tile, but really, who gives a shit? Like, I like you, Sarah Hossela, and everything, but come on. Boy, howdy, if that wasn't distracting. Am I right? Am I? I hope I am. That would be nice to, in fact, be correct. And oh, hey, look, a shiny blue thing. Let's step on it. Nothing bad can happen at all. Oh, and we're kind of a adorable little pink bunny now. Welcome to a weird place. I like the music for this little bit when you're a rabbit. I don't believe it ever happens again. And these guys are talking about the evil power that has twisted our shape. But there's a ball called the Moon Pearl that will help us. So for some reason, this guy's like eternally kicking around this little pink guy, but he seems to be perfectly fine with it. So the old man, when he gave us the mirror, he told us if we happen to stray into any strange worlds, we can use the mirror to get out. So we're able to get out, get ourselves another piece of heart, and leave those two people behind, stuck in there for eternity. My bad, guys. If you would have asked, I had a mirror to get you out, but you didn't ask, so I'll assume you're happy back there. Also, if you come here, there's another one of those strange tablets from earlier. If you consult it with the Book of Medora, though, just like the entrance to level 2, it'll tell you something. But now it tells us we need the Master Sword to get the magic of Aether, or Ether. I'm a big stupid. I don't know how to use words. I'm sorry. And oh, I just jumped off. That's a shame. Well, the level we want to get to is up there, but we're down here, so I'm gonna have to get up there again.